Before I leave and go out and do what I have to do, I just want to remind you that a distraction is seldom seen for what it really is. A distraction is often recognized when it's already in motion or when distraction has expired, because every distraction has an expiration date. A distraction is only sent to you to occupy you with something that's less relevant. Listen what I said. A distraction can be a relevant thing, but it's less relevant to something else you should be focused on. For example, it can be that I'm just making up an example. It can be that you are a bit messy when it comes to your place. For example, you live in your apartment, but you're a bit messy. And because of that, from time to time, you don't know where you left your key, or you don't know where you left your pen or whatever. So it can be indeed that that's something you can work on. But let's say now you have friends or people that point out this to you all the time. You may think those are just friends, that they want the best for me, and indeed, I'm a bit messy, I can do it better. So now you focus completely on becoming better organized with the physical possessions around you. But meanwhile, you were being used by some people because those people didn't want to face things. Let's say there are people around you that are haunted by negative attention, so now they want to put the negative attention on you so that they can escape. Now, that you should improve in how you manage physical possessions, that's a relevant thing for yourself, so that when you're at home you know where to find stuff, so you don't have to start a whole expedition to find where you left your wallet, for example. So it's a relevant thing, but it's less relevant than your actual safety. Okay? Your safety is more important. But because you were distracted by that minor thing, you didn't realize that negative attention was growing against you. You get what I'm saying here? So a distraction is sent to you to take your focus away from the main thing that's relevant to a less relevant thing. A distraction has to be relevant to you, or else you wouldn't fall for it. For example, if you are married and someone comes to you and tells you that there are quote unquote hot chicks or babes at the disco, you would think, what? I'm married, man. You see that, right? You wouldn't even fall for it. Okay? But if someone tells you that your wife may be cheating, then you think, huh? My wife cheating? What are you talking about? Because it's now relevant onto you, it becomes a bait. To distract someone successfully, you need to bait them with something that's relevant onto them. But you have to make sure that what you're baiting them with is less relevant than it appears. So, when the enemy comes to distract you, he will send something relevant to you, or he will trigger something that's relevant onto you. But what he is using is less relevant. But at the time, you don't notice it's less relevant because you are distracted. Every distraction aims at keeping you away from doing something. There's something someone somewhere doesn't want you to be doing because what you're doing hinders their agenda. So to secure their agenda, they want you to stop doing something, so then they send something your way that will take your focus, that will take your attention, because your focus and attention has been shifted. You're not doing anymore what they didn't want you to do. So now their agenda can continue unhindered. Because to fight you, in order to make you stop doing what you do, will backfire easily. So a distraction is a far better war method than open opposition. So remain in prayer, keep agreeing with Christ, and remember, not every relevant issue that pops up deserves your attention. Let me repeat that. Not every relevant issue that pops up in your life deserves your attention. There is this meme that goes like this: you're not obliged to participate in every argument you're invited to. That's what simply means when people are looking for a fight, or people are accusing you, you're not obliged to give in to it. We know that. But listen, the enemy doesn't only come with open opposition, because open opposition is obvious. You just walk away and you're done with it. A distraction is the same as an invitation. It's an invitation for you to be involved with something just to keep away from doing something else. So whenever issues arise in your life, just look at the context, especially look at the timing. Too often, believers don't look at the timing. Sometimes an unbeliever who's an atheist, who's smoking weed all day long, can see things far better than you. But listen, if let's say you are a boxer, okay, and you're in the ring fighting, your coach who's on the side can see things better than you. You see the opponent in front of you, but your coach is on the side and he sees that your opponent is tired or your opponent is backing off. You don't. So when the coach sees this, the coach begins to encourage you more. So the coach has a better view of what's going on. That's obvious. That's why he can coach you while you're in the fight. Okay? So if you are in a car, you're in the driving seat, so you have to pay attention to what's in front of you. You have to, or else you can't drive. Okay? The people who are on the other seats, they are free to look around because they don't have to focus on the road in front of them. So because they don't have to focus on the road in front of them, they can notice things you don't. It can be that you're driving well, but the one that sits next to you sees that suddenly there's a child that's running towards the road. You didn't capture it yet, but info tells you, stop, there's a child coming. And you hit the brakes and a deadly accident has been prevented. So sometimes people see things you don't. That's why remain flexible enough to receive constructive criticism from people. Sometimes unbelievers can see things clearer than you do. And sometimes the Holy Spirit will allow unbelievers to hint things to you. That doesn't mean you have to agree with the unbeliever. That means that you need to yoke up with them, or best be yoked with them, but just pay attention. Okay? Well, that's it for now. I need to go. Keep agreeing with Christ and be at peace.